It's live.
Good.
Got
Just let
this
it
for
run.
the future if you need
I've
that.
got. I lent it to him.
That's fine. I have one in the car
All right,
too.
we'll just take that.
Got it. And I'll hold it too if I need to. It's live. You're live. Awesome. I'm gonna go help her.
Hey guys, we're waiting to start. There's a lot of people got all the traffic on Mardi Gras on the island, but they're on the way here. But we've got enough to get going in a while. But I'll keep you posted. I'm gonna leave this running live so you know what's happening. Shall I put on mic? No. Yeah.
If it gets warmed up, 85 Wednesday, I might go and set up. Ready for it. I never caught one. Yeah, I've been down as far as 25, 30 by myself. So I'm usually down in midweek.
We were at Coast.
Okay, so it's down just past Little Shell at 30. And that day the color was off.
So it's gonna be Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash.
I thought it would.
No, we go to Smith.
That should be. How are we doing?
majority of somebody else's opinion. So I think that brings us to Nick.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, they can't?
Okay, we'll get someone on that. Thank
Okay,
you.
we're now
Thank you.
good
We'll
live.
get on it.
Okay, it was because I had this mic turned off. All right, they should be all right
Okay,
now.
So, welcome.
Okay, we've been really busy.
Okay, good.
You're going to switch that one, or is that it? Oh, the introduction to the people involved.
That's what
Okay, we've got a lot of attorneys, which we didn't have before, and we've got one trial lawyer who's on the team. CAC, we've fought, this is our third battle with organisations trying to close off sections of the beach. We had the one which was from Packery to the hotels. They wanted to privatise that at one time. We fought that successfully. We then had the changing of the speed limit and closures again initiated by Florida. So we fought that one and we settled with the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit that gave us access to the beach. And now we're in this one again. The good thing is that we've got people behind us who have been down that road. This gentleman here, he got fired by the National Park Service. He had a program closed down for the black-footed ferret. Apparently we haven't got him here, but he had. And now they're a lot less. So I sat there and I was thinking about change and, you know, when do you initiate change? Well, really it should be for the improvement of something. Do you know what I mean? That's the only reason you would consider it. This change they're going to implement is no good for the city of Corpus Christi. It's certainly not any good for the users, and it's no good for the turtles. All right? And how it's come about is we've got the national seashore 61 miles, but no one lives on it. Okay? Florida, you take the same 61 miles, you've got 61 million people living there. I don't know if that's a number, but they've got a lot of clout politically. So they went after the money that had been allocated to our program, which is unique in the fact that the turtle eggs are taken off the beach and put into a place where they can incubate and be sexed. And that's a really important point. The program they're trying to replace us with, you're throwing the keys in the air, and it's temperature which determines the sex. And apparently, if it's all male, okay, we're in trouble. And they've broken what's a real important rule about that recovery program. They identified this and they wanted females. Am I correct on that? Apparently, the males are just party animals and they'll just go with anything. But the females, right? Okay, so they get one or two females and they can go and breed and come up the shore and lay their eggs. But if you take the females out because the temperature's wrong and you're producing males, you're actually not doing the recovery program any good. In fact, you're working against it. Now, that potentially could be illegal, okay? There's a lot going down. And also, we've been being advised by a gentleman who wrote this book, okay? He was the guy running that program and he got laid off and fired, whatever, and the program destroyed. But he successfully took the national park to court, okay, over it, and he won. And he deserved to win. And he's acting as an advisor to us. And so we've got some insight into how this program is going to go forward and what we need to do to effectively, if you want, help the park. That's what our objective is to help the park so that the programs continue. A successful turtle program, in my mind, I'm not worried about numbers. It's that they've got one there, it's being monitored correctly, and I've got beach access. That works, right? So why change? Anyhow, well, where were we at? Okay, so I've got to read this. Maybe you should know. Okay, we're going to changing sea turtle patrols, including time and frequency method. We were talking to Jan, who's on the end there, who's our turtle expert, and I actually did a documentary on the turtle program. I think it was 3 years ago. 2 years ago, and I was able to watch Donna monitor the turtles during the night when they do a thing called frenzy. They start twitching. Now, one or two will come up, then they all come up. The only way turtles survive in the wild is predator overload. That means they all come ashore at the same time, lay all their eggs, the little turtles all frenzy at the same time, and they haul ass down the beach, and there's so many of them, they get picked off, but they survive because of overload, predator overload it's called. So this is basically not available to us. Okay, that's a total different game. The Mexico group, they do run an Arabara. Our group, there's not enough turtles being released at the same time. So when Donna did a release, she would have people there waving flags, scaring off seagulls, and things like that. And the success rate, she was thinking was maybe, I believe, what was the success rate when the program was running? 1 in 400. Leaving the turtles on the beach, they're going to say it's 1 and possibly 4,000. So that's the kill rate. So why is this happening to us, right? Basically, they're trying to save money. They want the money to go to Florida where the vote is, and they've sent someone in to make sure this is forced through. There is no concern about the turtle itself. This program is destructive to the turtle, and it's destructive to us. Basically, what it looks like they're trying to do is have a reserve rather than a park, where the animals are down there by themselves and they're left alone. Where are we at? Am I okay? Would you like me to mention? We're supposed to have more, but the computer broke down, so I'm talking my way through.
Basically what our,
Yeah, okay. So the programs that we're looking at, as has been successful, they're trying to tailor it so it's different, and we believe it's not effective and it's going to damage the program completely. So that's what we're here to fight about. But the gentleman did say that the pre-NEPA that we're in at this moment is really just fog. He said it's not that important. They can't force anyone through from it. So we've got time. They call it the pre-NEPA, then it has to go through this other complex thing. And what we are going to do as an organization is force them to do environmental impact studies on anything they try and change. Now, there was an environmental study done on the turtles. When was that? 2010? Okay, so they did one on 2010, and the method they were using was proved to be successful, and it clearly said that leaving them on the beach was going to be detrimental to the turtles. So we've got that EIS to base our attack on, okay? And we need to make sure every time they do something that's outside of that EIS, then we will come forward as an organization. We've got lawyers in place, and we will litigate on behalf of our rights, okay? So be assured of that. If any of you come up with any ideas that you would like us to look at as an organizer, we certainly will. We've got a good team and we'll do that, I promise you. All right, let's see where we're going next. No, in situ, right? Nesting, can predation be reduced without moving eggs? Basically, no, right? I mean, I've been down there. This is within the first year that I've actually seen hogs on the beach, right? I didn't see them on the beach. I saw them on the road to the beach. I can assure you they're loving this concept. Eggs for breakfast every day. They will be down there digging them up like you can't imagine. We saw a badger on the beach the other day. That's going to do the same. The coyotes are thick. They're all waiting, and they're going to get into them eggs. So what the park is doing, they're doing a clever move. They're taking an area which has no traffic, Malachite Beach, walking beach, and they're going to run a test there. And then they're going to use that to say, okay, we proved that that particular method is better. But the test, no vehicle just being left on that area in Malachite is totally different from what it is 40 miles down the beach. You know, Malachite, there's vehicles there, there's everything. They're not going to get the predation that we get down south. So it's an unfair, I think, test to see if their program's going to actually work. I don't believe that's fair at all, and we should fight that. What's up? We're back again? Okay. Wood unmanned aerial vehicles. The other point on this is, a lot of it is bullshit. I promise you. I've been down this road with them prior, and at that time when we were all arguing about speed limits and access rights, they were throwing little key rings up saying, "Oh, we're going to put a police station at Mansfield." Didn't ever happen. They ain't going to do it. The police don't even go south of the 10. Really, I don't see them at all. I would like to say south of the 5. They sit up there, want to write speeding tickets and catch anyone that might have had a dog off a lead or something. But they're not very friendly, and they were asking for suggestions of what we would like to see. I personally would like to see training on how to deal with the public. I feel, honestly, when I'm driving off the beach, it's like I've committed a crime, and I haven't. Not yet. Right? But driving off the beach, you know, our friend here, she got hit by a stingray. It was just terrible the way they dealt with the whole issue. It wasn't right. She's suffering. She's still suffering. How many months is it now? How much did it cost? Right. She very nearly lost her leg. She was driving off the beach, and her husband had his flashers on. They waved him down, stopped him, made him produce his license, went back to the truck, the whole bit. Then they said if they speed off the beat, they followed them off at 15. It's just terrible what they did. So rather than another police station, I really think we should push, and one of the suggestions you might put forward would be a first aid centre. I really think that could help and should be manned every time the beach is open. That first aid centre should have someone there to cater for these sort of injuries and things.
One more thing,
Mhm.
where it talks about would reducing vehicles improve, better protect sea turtles, etc. That was already done in an IES in the
And
2010,
and they can.
it was found.
Okay, the fact is, all us regular users, and there's a lot of us here, I think I definitely sort of pulled it 3 or 4 turtles last year during the winter. You know, big ones, the loggerheads and things like that. Maybe 5 pelicans and a couple of boobies, didn't we? And what was that thing that made that beautiful sound? A loon. Yeah, I got a loon as well. So us being south is what is monitoring that beach down south. And there's a lot happening. I go to the beach every day and do beach reports. And I can promise you in the last 30 years, I've never seen the beach narrow like it is now. Okay, every time a low comes in, even from the west, it doesn't have to come into the Gulf as a hurricane. It just comes from the west like we had last night. You can see that wind go north. You know that water's going to hit the dune. That's happening more and more and more. Our fishery in November got basically destroyed by fronts coming through. And also that run right from October at the end of the turtle season. The fact is, leaving the turtles on the beach, the eggs on the beach, they're going to get washed out, I promise you. You know, it's just going to happen. So, again, that's a negative towards what they're proposing. North Beach access improvements. Okay. North Beach, and I think we're talking about the pedestrian area. Okay, it's 4 miles of beach. And anyone who uses it knows well that maybe 1 mile is used. All right, you've got 100 yards each side of the stick and a little bit where they have the entrance to the beach. Texans, beaches, they're not going to walk the beach with all their crap for 2 miles. It's just not going to happen. All right, so I'd like to suggest that we reduce that area by 1 mile each side. That should be beach we can use. We can fish. And that I honestly think that because legally every mile there's a road behind the dune line, every mile there should be a car park and an entrance over the dune, which is disabled friendly and not going to damage the infrastructure at all of the actual dune. So that's another point there that we might have to look at. But that's definitely something that should be legal, is legal, and it's written every mile. I'm correct in saying that, am I, Jan? Should be a passover if they plan to build the road behind the dune. Again, I think that's smoke. That's one of these. Watch that. I'm going to steal your wallet. You know, it's that sort of trick. They will never do it. Anyway, what we got else?
I think the main thing on this was,
Sand
as I
management.
look at it is.
This sand
why are you
management,
not
they've
being
put that up.
constructive anyway?
They put that up, the sand management. Does anyone remember around the summer driving onto the beach the first 100 yards? There was vehicles stuck everywhere. Right? The sand was deep as could be, and they got a big digger just sitting there. Right? Yeah, parked up. Couldn't give a coot about the user. So don't think for a minute that this is a friendly situation. They're going to be doing sand management. No, there was vehicles stuck everywhere. They couldn't give a coot. There you go. That's right.
They prefer basically if you didn't go.
Yeah.
They prefer if you just didn't go.
All right, hang on. Here we go again. Let's see what we've got now. Hang on. You just got to tap it, I believe. Oh, it's not tapping. Hang on. Here comes. Oh, there you go. Okay, now they're talking about visitor capacity at the seashore to determine the need for beach driving permits. Right? We had a lawyer look at that, and he said that's illegal. We pay already to be on that beach. That's our permit.
And I don't agree with, I don't have as much money as you, so you get to go and I don't. Like
Yeah. What do you think of that, Scott? Scott's a lawyer.
There's no way that can work in this day and age where we could make the permit's going to be $400.
Right.
Or you can afford it.
Yeah.
It's going to, what if they can make it whatever number they want?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're going to.
It's just more smoke.
Go in that direction. Just smoke.
Down in Hatteras, North Carolina, they did put that permit in. And I think I can't remember how much it was.
But I've been, yeah. I right, I went up there, right? But if I remember when I didn't have no permit. I just used to drive up and down the beach. They've got it now? Okay. So, but all right, now do you pay that's right, I didn't pay a fee to drive on the beach and a permit. So what we're paying here, in my mind, is my permit. Go on.
It's the exact same thing they do with the National Forest permit program that they have. It's run by the local superintendent.
So is it a local thing or national?
Wherever there's a park or wherever there's National Forest, it doesn't really matter. Whoever's in charge, the superintendent comes up with the permit fees. Those fees go directly to that superintendent and that group to spend however they want. Same thing happens in Black Hills.
You get money. Nick,
Except
we need to stay till the end.
Okay. Well,
Hatteras is $120, right?
$120. Is that a yearly thing? Well, that's what we've got here anyway. So you buy a beach driving license.
That was your national park.
Okay.
Now, this is exactly against what the founder, Teddy Roosevelt, made the national park for.
Did you know him?
He did not want these parks shut off to the public or just to the wealthy. For years, we've watched the wealthy take over all of the normal people's access.
Right.
And in the national park, it should never be.
All right. Thank you. What's next?
Possibly doing a road behind for 5 miles.
Okay.
Which is never gonna happen.
That's never going to happen. They were talking about the road behind the dune. They're going to have this road behind the dune. We've got one. It's called Park Road 22. And, you know, that's been there for quite a long time. They originally, I was talking to the old boys in the 60s. They used to go in at Bob Hall Pier, and that's how they drove that beach, right? So that was before that road was built, but they built a road. There is one there. They've got their private walking beach, what he's talking about. I honestly, firmly believe they will never build that road. If they do, they're going to have to get it, and we're going to look at it real close, because if they start damaging infrastructure on that dune line, then we're going to go after them. That dune line is our protection against hurricane. You've never seen anything better than a dune for taking the power out of a wave. I stood on top of one that last hurricane, and I was watching it hit, and it just sucks the energy out of it. If anyone cuts a pathway through a dune, they should be sued, because they're putting us all at risk.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
National Seashore Network Plan for Hurricane and Storm Recovery. This really peed me off. Well, after that hurricane, previous hurricanes, we could go down the beach after one day. Okay, so the hurricane would be done. They'd send someone down, all the way down and all the way up. This time it was closed for like 2 to 3 weeks. I can't remember what the actual period was, but apparently Eric is a archaeologist. Yeah, so the superintendent. So what he did is he employed a load of out-of-towners to come into town to walk that beach looking for artifacts for him. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine that we're not allowed? So that was wrong. I mean, I'm sure we can get on with Eric if he starts doing things that's constructive to the park, and I want to. I sincerely want to. I want the police to be friendly. I want the park accessible to all of us. And like in the old days where we worked as a team, if Perky come, I remember I had like a dolphin on the beach, and we used to run CBs in the day, and you could transmit from the jetty all the way up to the entrance. And we were down there, and there was a big bull dolphin on the beach, and I was hanging around, and we called for Perky, and someone picked it up, and then Perky got it, and he come racing down the beach. It took him about half an hour. We'd already let the dolphin go. But they worked as a team. Him and Randy Reeder, every day they'd go to Mansfield. We're getting reports of more and more drugs are coming up the beach. More and more immigrants are walking up the beach. There's no police down there. I know that. So I can tell you, mate, them coyotes know it as well. They're going to let that happen. And that, to me, is bad management. The police are bored to death. They're sitting there in the first 5 miles. They get really angry because nothing's happening. And there's not a donut shop in sight. Increasing beach cleanup activities with local organisations. Me personally, I go out there all the time. I always pick up my trash, and if I see anything, I'll pick up trash to see nice things. I'm not going to help on one of these cleanups until they come back in line and say that we're part of that park. All right? I was involved right at the beginning with them. All right? But to me, going out there and cleaning his beach gives the wrong message. Right? I expect everyone to clean up after themselves, and if there's something they're damaging. But there's also something that happened in the high banks. I used to have an old man I used to run with called Ralph Wade, Fisher Beach for years, him and Jim. And on the cleanups, I'd go and pick them up to take them to help out on the cleanup. They just wanted to be involved. Jim always used to bring his own trash. He'd turn up with a big bag and get in my car. So, he did. Yeah. So anyhow, we'd go take them down south. And old Ralph, he always used to say, you know, them pulling all this stuff off the beach is going to destroy the beach. And I used to, Ralph, get out of it. But if you look, the high banks disappeared since they've been cleaning that beach, right? Now, I remember going down there on one of their beach cleanups and they were pulling big ropes out. All the boys were going, big chunks of wood. That's your bonding agents for the beach. Our high banks have disappeared. And for those that didn't know, the high banks run from the 28 through to the 19. And you had to make a decision. You're either going to take the low road, which put a bank at least 6 foot high to your left. And then there was a middle road, which was just on top of that line. Then there was a high road, rough as a cob. I mean, you'd be right up against the dune running, but you had to get up there sometimes. If you took the low road and that water come up, you had to back out, go back and come at it again. There was also, so that's totally disappeared. That's gone. But I watched Brad Jones. He owns the properties to the north of the park. What used to be the big sand bowl where the people got murdered. Anyhow, Brad Jones needed to build his 4 dunes up. All right. So I watched him. He started dumping stuff there, old Christmas trees and stuff. He's built that up in 6 months, I'd say. 6 months, and it looks awesome. He's got nice dune line coming along. It's blocked off what was the bowl where everyone was going back. That's all blocked off now. The sand's built up. But it was by putting structure there that bonded the beach. A very important thing, you know. So where are we at now? Go on.
I just want to say, this one just really struck me because why is this in a NEPA plan?
Yeah.
Why aren't you already working with organizations to clean the beach if that's what's needed? Why aren't you marketing trash cleanup from the users? Why aren't there trash cans then on the beach that you're picking
In
up?
that first 5 miles, there should be.
Or why aren't they given a bag to bring their trash back or something? There's nothing. So to me, this is a no-brainer. Why is it even here?
I genuinely think there's a lack of care. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's at the back of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
why would you destroy the? Yeah, here it goes. Watch this. Here we go again. There goes your wallet.
Okay.
We do need to have a united stand, and that's what this meeting's about. Is coming up, and there's going to be some suggestions put out. And Jan's put something. Did you? Who brought that? Oh, you've got it. We've got some suggestions that you can put in. Now, here's the deal. If you do like protest forms and everyone signs it, they count it as one. All right. They did that to us before. There was a big push. Everyone was signing and they got counted as one. So don't do that. Go on the internet, sign up. You can do more than one comment. So you make your comment, it's given a number, print that number out because it's going to be important, and you can do more than one. So don't worry. That's one way. The other way is you can mail it in, but if you do, it's got to be with them by March 14th. Yeah. And they're going to have these open meetings, supposedly starting on Tuesday. You will only, you're not going to be allowed to comment when you're there. You can talk to people, but you can't physically make a comment. So I suggest if you go there, be ready to get cards. They're going to hang cards out. Fill your comments in, mail them off, or email them. But again, that whole, yes, sir.
Can we get a copy of that list of the proposals? I had not seen that before, and I certainly would like a copy of that.
Hang on.
It is online. Do you have the email?
It's
web address?
https://parkplanning.nps.gov, and then it will tell you about the Padre Island comments. It's Rachel. They have a phone, maybe they can take.
I
Or
found it.
take a picture here of this, and I have little cards too that we can distribute. And if you can take a picture of your comment and send it to the email on this little card, we're asking the government to tell us the truth about how many people have commented. So that's why we're asking for this safety net of you guys taking a quick snapshot of your comment ID and sending it to this email on this card, so we know how many people are also are.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're getting them comments in and trying to make them structured. So we focus on, you know, particularly it's destroying the program. We're losing the money to Florida. These are all key points, you know, and we're going to try and help you with that as much as we can. Brenda, that's gone dead. The-
Okay, you said that you want to go next?
yeah,
I think that's it.
that's it. Okay, has anyone got any comments?
I got a question for the attorney.
Mhm.
If we organize a picket and a flyer handout at the entrance to the park, can we legally do that, or can they arrest us?
You know, I guess my thoughts are on that, it's kind of early to do something like that, and as far as doing something like that, we want to keep it like, the whole status of everybody right now is we want to help the park, we want to help you do the right thing. So I think that's certainly an idea, that if things got super nasty, that would certainly be.
Well, I'm more thinking to get the word out. I walked up and down Mardi Gras today, and nobody knows it. They just say, really? We haven't heard, we've heard little rumblings, but we've heard them for years. We didn't know this was really.
There are people, we've got, I mean, there's a lot of political people been contacted.
I'm just
Yeah,
asking,
but no, I appreciate that.
you know, this is what they want to do, and we want you to be aware, you may be losing this privilege to drive on.
What the thing is, we've got to remember that that guy's saying this is pre-NEPA. And what they've done is like they've thrown that up against the wall and they want to see what sticks. A lot of it's bullshit.
And this is the first, this first initiation, it's sort of like for baseball, it's the first inning. So nothing is really happening yet. So this, we're gonna kind of learn on Tuesday what's going on. And you know, hopefully this is a moot point and everything will be fine, but it's at least start. It's probably not, but we can all be hopeful. But at the same time, we're at least ahead of the curve and that we're already fortunate enough to have Nick bring us all together.
I've seen them do this in Denali. I've seen them close off the Alaskan rivers for the first 2 miles, only to fishing, and you can't fish beyond that. I've watched it all, and it always starts like this, under the guise of, oh, we're not doing nothing, it's just a pre-meeting, and the next thing is law.
Well, what we've got CAC in place. I promise you it's there. We've got 3 lawyers, you know, and one of them's a trial lawyer. We will litigate. If they proceed without the correct EISs and without the absolute correct studies in place, we will litigate. We've got the money. We will go after them. We're going to get everyone to support it, and we will go after it, I promise you.
Rather quickly, you know, I'm a section leader, normally, in the beach cleanup.
Thank you.
More than 1,000 people every year.
Right.
You could get ready by this next weekend, they could be made available to 1,000 people to go down the beach and clean it up.
Okay, we'll do that. No, we will do that. All right, we will produce them and we'll make sure we hand them out. We get to that. Yeah. Can you make a point on that, Brenda?
I'll hand them out.
Thank you. I'll get you some. You'll be there. Great. We're going to get you them. We'll get you them. If you could give your name to either Alicia or anyone. Who's that with a tile?
Do we have any board members here?
There you go. That's going to be awesome. We will do that. If you give your name, I'll make sure you get them brochures. I'll get them printed up for you. All right.
You think you're going to a government meeting coming up, they'll not be prepared before that meeting ever starts, or they'll think they're walking in just to be your buddy.
Last time they did that to us, it cost them $500,000. They had to send people from Denver. I attended 3 big meetings. We did, didn't we? It was big time. We give them hell. They had to rent halls and everything. And in the end, we got it right. So I know how prepared they are. I know what it is. But that gentleman from the Badlands, he assures us that pre-NEPA is just key shaking. He said, you've got to watch it really close. But at this point, we're not forming until we see the next move. And then we're going to go after them.
I just saw
Correct.
National announced that, it's open at the state park. But, it shouldn't be a good match tonight, could have had the media here to count 36.
I called, we did send them, yeah, we sent them information, but they had Mardi Gras on. The point was, we were given 1 week's notice, you know, and that gentleman I spoke to in the Black Hills who had worked for the Park Service for 36 years had a real high up position. He is sure he'd never heard of that before. And the other thing he's never heard of is the word pre in front of NEPA.
This whole review that they did, the decision was made before they started the review.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to happen? If their mind is already made up, don't confuse them with the facts. Dr. Shaver is the premier expert in Prince Ridley sea turtles in the world, not just here, not just Texas, not just the U.S., the whole world. She's been identified that by other experts in the field. She was not asked any questions in the review.
Correct.
She was not involved in the review. They didn't want her.
Tell her who was involved. 2 people from Florida.
Two people
They did the review and they grabbed the cash. So that's what happened.
The government couldn't hand out money for the cleanup of the Deepwater Horizon. They had to set up an NGO, non-government organization, to parse out the money. Somebody drives them to give that money. That person is Barbara Schroeder with NOAA. She told them which projects were gonna get money, which weren't. She told Donna Shaver she was not gonna get any more money until she killed public driving on the beaches of Texas.
That's correct. But that happened on the first one as well. They were told that as well, and we successfully defended against that. So don't lose heart. And I promise you, there's nothing more powerful than the people's voice. You know, that's how we're going to get them. A lot of people, that's the key.
That leads to the next one. All of our senators and congressmen in this area know about it because I feed them about the head and shoulders every time I see them, and I see them quite often. One of the issues that's a problem is the national park itself, the seashore, is in District 34. Michael Cloud is District 27, which controls it all the way up to the gate.
I've been in touch with Giovanni down in the valley. Yeah.
Representative from the last election. It doesn't behoove them to do anything to the advantage of the national seashore here, because that takes away potential customers and visitors from down there. Somehow we gotta get Cloud and him there to work together to do what's good for them.
We've got to. Alicia, hit him. Hit him. His turn. Say what you got.
Oh, I was going to ask. So, who is this entity out of Florida, and how do they have any say so or sway as to what goes on?
They were the people running the turtle program. We've all been in Florida. I'm going to assume we have. It's hotels on the beach, fences, private beaches. Turtle comes up, so they close that area off. They want the same for us. It's a total different environment. Ours is totally unique to any beach in America or in the world.
Science is different on the turtle.
Right. I mean, are
They were
like a
turtle
governing
program.
body, or I mean, are
They were NPS, National Park Service people.
Oh.
Right, and they're the people who come in and made that decision to trim back on her program. It's been devastating to everyone involved, how this is going to damage the turtles that she worked so hard to build up. And I don't want to get personal and say it's just about turtles, because it's not. There's shark fishermen down there taking DNA sampling, and someone contacted the conservation people about sharks, said this is the best area for records of sharks since they've implemented that program. That beach, south, all right? Now, the police here aren't even going south. I promise you, that beach is about bird watching, flower, everything. We're there, we're the eyes on the beach. It's vital. It's not just about turtles. It is a big thing, but we are the eyes on that beach. I promise you.
One additional point about the program in Florida, being different. They do predator control over there. They trap and they shoot raccoons and the coyotes that would be up there. Here, they do that. And the evidence is that. They kill the predators down there. That's not what we want to see happen here at Padre Island National.
No, I want to see the Yarborough Pass open for people to go back and watch birds. I love bird watching in the spring. There's nothing better. That park does really. There's one little duck blind just past the entrance that they've scared the ducks off.
If everybody will contact the state senators, congressmen, state and federal, and start writing word on them. When the voices.
Maybe we could add addresses and names to people that we should contact and put that on that reference.
So like going forward from this meeting, how can we all stay in touch with what's going on y'all side,
Mhm.
as well as like, how can we stay up to date on the litigation, like that process of like what y'all are monitoring? Is it CAC that's going to?
CAC, yeah.
How are y'all going to get that monitored, and then how's that going to be?
We're very involved locally, as you well know, of what's going on that beach. And we try to be, we've got a lot of ears.
And we'll look at possibly opening a website.
There you go.
If it needs to be, we'll open a website. And we have most of your emails and things, so we'll make sure that.
We will be emailing you.
And watch Nick's
Hang on.
page.
If I might say, I did read that before we came here on the Parks website, National Park Service. When you go to that site, it does say if you comment that they have to communicate back with you regarding what's happening, step by step. And that's the reason for giving you.
Our objective is to inform the public because we know that's where our stick's going to come from.
Stay on the website, we'll know it's being litigated.
Yes,
And like what moves they're making.
exactly.
Be a
Yeah.
real person or a bot that responds to it?
Check on.
If you've seen my spelling, you'd hope it's a bot.
Yeah, guys, the easiest way we're gonna be able to get information to you outside of the emails is there's several Facebook groups. We don't have anything on Twitter or anything else that as far as I know. But you have Nick's page, which is Nick Meyer, Nick Away from Breakaway Tackle USA. You have Padre Islanders, you have the Pins. The group that I admin on, it's a long name, I didn't create it, but it's Corpus Christi Fishing, Surfing, and Beachgoer Action Committee. So we're trying to update those pages every single time something comes up.
And that's another point you just raised there. The other, I noticed, Albert, you need to get control of this. Surfers and fishermen, we need to calm that down. They're users the same as me and you. They're arguing over bobble beer that don't exist. I spoke to Frank. He realizes the way we're going to do this. Half them surfers are fishermen, right? So I think we could all work as a unit, and it's going to really help our cause. And I know you can do that.
Yes, a lot of that was collaboration to them understanding that we have on the same goal.
Right.
May not be using it for the same thing, but the goal is open for every.
Great. Thank you for that. That's good. And also your data collection has been amazing, hasn't it? Now the bird counts. I haven't seen anyone doing bird counts now. Yeah, I mean that I haven't seen. I don't know if anyone's aware of that.
A point made earlier, I think is extremely important. Normally, when a national park proposed changes, one would think that they're addressing either a problem, an issue, or a need. And so we're kind of being snookered. I think we all feel
Yeah.
like we're being snookered here. And two things are being blended. One is the changes they'd like to make to the turtle program, all that entails. And then the rest is general management of the situation. And so one would think that they've got years of public comment, of people requesting things, about people complaining about no parking here or no restrooms there, or beach traffic problem, what have you, or no access to the far end. All of those things should be talked about. Your point on birds, I agree with completely. I'd love to see the national park volunteers that are paid to build up the burden.
They always had them before.
Residents love to see that.
Mhm.
Why isn't it there?
I don't know.
It's one of the most important things that we have.
As I said, if you look at change, it should be to improve something. Okay? I do not see anything locally that I would consider an improvement. The city's going to lose up to 37 million a year, 372 jobs. All right? We're going to lose sales tax all over the place. The turtles are going to suffer. Do you know what I mean? So there's no plus point that I can see for the users or the city of Corpus Christi itself.
And we've all seen everywhere in Hawaii beaches that are open, but it's a 2-foot
Yeah.
passageway between
Mhm.
bushes, between hotels.
Yeah.
It gives the public access. In Galveston, you see currently a little parking spot behind the dune, so you can take all of your ice chests and fishing and camping material and hike it over to the water. That's absurd. And those are the things that none of us want.
No.
Hopefully, it looks like y'all are doing a good job of trying to stay ahead of this situation. But it's a constant battle.
Oh, it's been a battle for, like I said, we started the original fight back in 2009 when we formed, and we'd fought it a year before that. So we're well used to this. The thing is, we've got to have a voice that's one, that they know when they mess with this area, that they're talking to people like you. The park superintendent come from the Badlands, I believe, down here. You don't know anything about that beach. I promise you could stop any one of them policemen, cops, whatever you want to call them, on the north end there and ask what time's high tide, they wouldn't have a clue. If you went, what's the sea temperature, what's been caught south, they wouldn't have a clue. Years ago, they knew everything. They would stop you and say, what's going on down south, Nick? What's the water colour? Is there anything that's a problem? No. Boom. Don't get any of that now. It's not policed south at all.
In a couple of sentences, what is the status of the Texas Open Beaches Act? And
That's a weapon for us.
what at the federal level applies to our particular
That kept our beaches open in the past, didn't it? It's the Texas Open Beach Act is there. We need the GLO to get involved. They're obviously watching. I saw some contacts, was it from you today, sent to them about this meeting and about what's going on in the area. They will be, we're going to bring them in. And I promise you, if they go up against that regulation, Todd Hunter, was it, who stopped the last one? Is he in charge of that? No, who is it? GLO. Anyhow, we will get them involved as well. We did last time and we'll do it again. Jerry Patterson.
Yeah, I was wondering about the open beach act. I mean, if they try to go against the deeds, and I know that we were talking earlier about somebody who's trying to get that to change one of the bills.
Right.
That 434.
But open beach, I did.
Do you think that they want to release the land and
No.
make it not a national park?
Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that it clearly states if they restrict us in any way from going down there, that not we can take it back, it goes back. That's what it says in the deed.
That's the reason they're using the turtles, is that will override the endangered.
I don't think it does. No, the turtles being recovered off our beach is not of a significant amount. I think it has to be something like 10,000 or something. I don't know. Yeah, it hasn't reached that number where they can use that as a stick.
Well, they shut down the whole Oregon forest for a couple of spotted owls.
That was a hoot. Yeah, definitely. Go, because that's how you show that we're united and we're going to attend and we're going to say what's going on is wrong.
Is the aquarium behind this, or are they
Just giving them a room, I think. I don't think
Things
so.
about the meeting.
Sky's a lawyer, by the way, one of our team.
Our understanding is that there's gonna be third-party consultants which are paid for by the National Park Service, which are gonna be doing the talking and explaining. They have not been down the beach. They're from the middle of nowhere. They don't know anything about the seashore. Okay, so it's not, the National Park Service people and the people at the seashore will not be saying this is what we're gonna do. They insulate themselves by having a third-party paid consultant do it. So keep that in mind. The person talking doesn't really know the issues much at all.
Good.
And I guess secondly is they really are not asking for any public comment. There's no question and answer. There's no, hey, we want to hear what you say. They don't want you. It's just really supposed to be, as they call it, a listening session.
And you can bet that what they've done, they're sitting in an office in Washington or something. They look at the cost per turtle rescue to Florida to what it costs here. It is a lot more expensive because we're a different environment. But when there's a guy sitting in an office going, yeah, let's cut that. Do you know what I mean? It might make sense to him, but he doesn't know the story, and we've got to make sure they do.
Got a question for the beach cleanup guys. What percentage of the trash on the seashore is actually coming from the ocean and not from the people? There's a lot of stuff I see on the beach that ain't
Nothing
coming,
from the beach.
that ain't coming from the
Very little
visitors.
from-
All
I
comes
don't
from
have
us.
that information. There are people within the group that do, ocean conservancy, there's also a problem. The multiple species in that group, so there's international involvement.
There's a lot of this stuff that we ain't carrying in.
The local universities have one that trying to sell different years, like the studies from where she came in, probably provide that information.
Because they're gonna say, well, we can't clean up the trash, there's too much of it, but if it's not the visitors bringing it in, that should be mute.
A lot from both,
Yeah, well, there's
mineral
both.
trash from dumps in Mexico, and, we find incredible assemblies.
They dump it off bridges into the rivers flow into other great bodies of water.
Why don't they use, machines that are built to clean the beach?
They can't get them down where we're at. It's a remote environment that you're in.
Yeah.
And that area of the high banks, it'd be very difficult to get them
But I
through.
think they could start up this way.
Right,
or
in the
from
first
down.
5. Yeah, I
Because
agree.
I do the turtle patrol.
Right.
And I have seen so much trash,
Mhm.
and I have never seen that much trash on any other beach.
Do you know, I like that trash.
I see all these poor little bottles.
Right, I know, it's
Turtles.
horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, and thank you for doing what you've done. I do appreciate it.
I clean up as
Yeah.
best I can.
All right, one of the things that I wanted to ask real quick is on that email, a lot of people live on the email, they're asking, is there a phone number that they can call to get more information, or is it, website, better email, because I've got guys on the East Coast, West Coast.
The only thing I can do, I'll make sure we will give you the information to put on your live. You can stick it at the end of your YouTube. Oh, great. Okay.
We can use that email. It's, let's get that H right. protectbeachaccess@gmail.com.
There you go. That's a good one.
protectbeachaccess@gmail.com. And then after this, gentlemen, I have a couple of links that might help you.
Okay, come on up. Let's talk.
Who is the email to? The email is protectbeachaccess@gmail.com, and it's basically a CAC email here soon.
Is that your organization?
No, Nick. This is all the joint effort. I represent like the people, the ones that, go to the beach for relaxation and to get away from work and kids or they let the kids run amok. I represent those people. My name is Rachel, and I started getting involved in this. I grew up here. I grew up in our beaches. What a lot of people don't seem to remember is that, Corpus Christi is you have two different, middle class, but there's also a lot of poor people who use our beaches as their vacation spots. We have a lot of people from San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin. This is where they come. And, there's a what's happening Nick here is very PC for the most part, but we have a greedy government and they're trying to privatize our beaches. They don't want us accessing it. They want certain people behind it. We do have to start contacting, and we're going to get that list together. Like they said earlier, They haven't given us a whole lot of time, and they do that on purpose. These meetings are checking off boxes for them. They have to say that they had the 3 meetings and, we did it. So they check off those boxes. So we're going to get a list together of all the people that we need to contact. So you have the Michael Cloud, and then the other, who I don't know his name, Commissioner Gonzalez, or
Vincente Gonzalez.
okay. And then you have the Nueces County Judge, who's Connie Scott, Brent Chesney, who's the county commissioner, who you have to go through his assistant. He acts like he's the president, but we got to stay on him.
He did respond.
Did he respond?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we have Corpus Christi City Council. So you want to reach out to the mayor, and you want to reach out to council members. I think the guy that represents this district is called Dan Suckley. And the thing is, and I everybody needs to understand, Hurricane Harvey, we're still fighting the county on that. It's been 6 years, and Bob Hall Pier is sitting there. I guarantee you they have zero intention of building that back up again. I guarantee it. And we have to stay on these corrupt politicians, because that's what they are. That is what they are. And we don't want to make this a political deal, but it is.
You just did.
It is. Because it is.
She's terrible. I can't keep control of her.
These are the people you have to be on. Well, yep. And then in 2004, because if you guys don't know, there's a certain part that the city of Corpus Christi owns. There's a certain part that Nueces County owns, another part that Clayburgh owns, and then the national parks. So in 2004, the city of Corpus was trying to also remove their portion of pedestrian and vehicular access. So that got voted down by the people. So what the point in this, and there's a lot of government bureaucracy, and they speak a different language than us. You can pull, this is Governor or Senator Mays Middleton from Galveston. I don't know if anyone has been to Galveston, but they have sold out. It's commercial, and that's what they want to do. Of course. So his bill wants for us to prove that we own the beachfront.
Hang on, there's a gentleman over there.
It's probably not a coincidence that this comes out at about the same time they announced the proposal to pave the road behind the dunes, bypassing the top 5 miles of the beach. The only reason to do that is if you want to increase traffic down there.
Right.
Trying to pave more of the road. And I don't think that's a coincidence. It sounds like there's a bigger plan.
Okay, one point about the politics side of it. Okay, I've been in the 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we heard this was going ahead. So the reason I don't want to go down a political avenue is because 50% of your people are going to think one thing and 50 the other. I'd rather us all unite in a potential non-political way, and let's get it done. Hang on, there was a gentleman there.
As far as the Open Beach Act, I know Fortnite's going through the same thing, the cinnamon stores and all that building up around there where they're trying to close that part of the beach off for them.
Right. We really need, as a group, to get as organized as we possibly can, let everyone know that's of any value how bad this is. Go.
When you said privatize, that's why I was wondering, like, is the goal for eventually for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
They did it in Maryland.
Well, and then, so this
They did it in
superintendent,
Maryland.
Jan, help me out here. This superintendent, Eric Brenneman, right? You can't find the guy. You can't email him. You can't call him. You can't go there and talk to him. He's the ghost guy. So he came to take over the turtle program and pins. What he has done, though, is he's already has a reputation for eliminating these programs in other states. So they brought him here to do that.
Right.
And when that failed, now what they're doing is 2 years ago, it's been ongoing.
He's the hatchet man.
Correct. So now what they're doing, because it's not working and we're fighting, is they're making it seem like, oh, well, now we care about the turtles. That's why we want to take away access. Yes. Yes.
I think we better call them into it now.
It's all about money.
Does everyone agree? Are we all done good? We're going to fight it.
Gotta tell everyone.
I see the sunrise. I see the bay. That dice has been rolled and I know it's too late. Don't take it away. Where once there was beauty, I'd stand in awe. The almighty dollar is closing the door. Don't take it away. Thank you, guys.
Go look at Maryland. They do the same thing out there.
Good to see you. I'm so happy. I have emailed you guys so much. See it. You did the sign in as you came in, so you sign in on your way out.
Oh. Hello, guys. The Cold Stone Turtle trailer is outside. If any of you want to go and have a look inside. Cold Stone Turtle trailer. Follow this man.